Today, we will be looking at how Chris Hemsworth trained to prepare for each iconic Thor shirtless scene. We will also be seeing how his physique has changed over the years. Thor, 2011. Chris Hemsworth's first breakout role was as Thor. He won the role beating his brother Liam Hemsworth. The only problem was that Chris's body was not Thor-ready. When we look at his body in his first movie called Cash, we can see that Chris was just a regular fit guy. Chris himself admits that before playing Thor, he had never touched weights and had built his athletic body mostly from running and surfing. To put on the mass for the role, Chris claims he had to eat a ridiculous amount of protein.
Chris, I can't help but notice you have bulked up a little bit for the role. Was that...
She's been celebrating all day.
I can say it because my husband's away. Was it hard to actually get the muscle bulk on?
It was. The eating was probably the most difficult part.
So it became about eating a lot and training a lot, and they kept saying, yeah, just get as big as you can, big as you can.
The sources mostly come from animal proteins such as chicken and steak. He likely supplemented his diet with protein shakes. Here is what his trainer Mike Knight had to say about Chris's workouts.
He started at about 200, went up to about 220, and we're going to shed any ounce of fat that you have left on you. It's going to be gone. He's getting frustrated with me. He's working a 12-hour shift, 7 in the morning, 7 at night. He gets done. We go to the gym, and I'm going to put him through this workout. It's going to take 2 hours. The weight on him is basically he eats around the clock, 3 hours around the clock. That means we were waking him up to feed him. If he was on the set, I wanted him burning no calories.
Chris managed to gain 20 pounds or 9 kilograms of muscle for the role, which was too big. At one stage, he got so big that he struggled to put on his suit.
And put the costume and within a couple of minutes, my hands started going numb.
What?
And everyone was like, yeah, that's cool. I started getting pins and needles, and you touch the skin and the blood would turn to that area so quick. And I thought, okay, this is it. It was the measurements they'd taken 3 months ago, no longer. The measurements I was fitting.
Chris had to shred down to lower body weight to better suit the role. To slim down, he swapped the heavy weights for more CrossFit-style cardio workouts. His final weight was around 220 pounds or 100 kilograms at a height of 6'3". If we would have to guess a body fat percentage, we would say 12% for this scene. Many people suspect that Chris's massive transformation was the result of anabolic steroids. However, Chris has not talked about the subject. If you are asking if his physique in Thor is attainable naturally, then we would say yes. But one will likely need to have good genetics and would likely need to have trained for a few years. Thor, The Dark World, 2013. Chris's body for the second Thor movie was smaller than his body for the first movie. This made life easier for Chris, who had to force-feed himself to keep on the mass. His co-star Kat Dennings in an interview explained how the caloric demands were not as high for his role in Thor 2. Here is what she said.
In the first movie, he used to wake up in the middle of the night because he's a thin, fit
Naturally,
person
yeah.
naturally. The way he is now is how he normally is. So he had to keep a lot of weight on, and he used to get up in the middle of the night and drink a protein shake and then go back to sleep to keep the calories in his body. Isn't that nuts?
When asked about what changed about his workouts for Thor, here is what Chris had to say.
This time around is a bit more functional training, boxing, and some Muay Thai in there to be a bit more athletic and not so kind of just blocky.
The change was notable in the movie. Chris looked leaner, perhaps around 10% body fat, and likely weighed 210 pounds or 95 kilograms for the role. Chris looked denser in this role with enhanced muscle maturity. More muscle separation could be seen when compared to his larger physique from Thor 1.
He ate like baby animals all day long. Every 2 hours, they'd bring him a different
Veal.
version of veal. They'd be like, and this is a baby deer.
This
and
is a baby
rabbit.
Oh, horrible.
Thor, Ragnarok, 2017.
Here we are, beginning of shooting for Thor 3 at the studios. Ready to have a train, got my shake, got my shoes, and as requested, got my roller coaster.
Chris returned as Thor for his third film, Ragnarok. His physique in this film, which very similar to the one from Thor 2. Some noticeable differences can be seen in his shoulders, which appear to have grown. His weight looks to be around 215 pounds or 97 kilograms. He is leaner than in the first movie, not as lean as Thor 2, but packing on some new muscle. When asked about what he did to get ready for this role, here is what he said.
There's a little bit of weights and training. It's a lot more sort of functional movement now.
Okay.
Like I'd rather sort of feel good than look that extra bit, you know? Yeah, I think I changed less kind of protein than the first film. You know, the first film was all about like Animal protein, like as much as we could get in.
Luckily for fans, Thor Ragnarok was made in the age of social media, so there was plenty of footage available on Instagram and YouTube regarding Chris's workouts. Thor: Love and Thunder, 2022. In Thor 4, Chris Hemsworth shocked fans by revealing his biggest Thor physique ever. Hemsworth packed on a lot more muscle than any of his other roles. These newfound gains at his more mature age had many people talking about the use of anabolic steroids. We will not comment on this and will allow you to decide. Let us know in the comments section. This new version of Thor packed bigger delts, arms and chest, bigger everything. What made Chris look much bigger in this role was his muscle density, which seemed to have increased drastically. He was bigger than in Thor 1 and leaner than his role in Thor 2. Chris claims that he took advantage of the lockdowns to put on the next level size for the role. One exciting and new training principle that Chris introduced to his workouts was occlusion training. In a viral video with his trainer Ross Edgley, Chris can be seen having an insane bicep pump workout. Occlusion training is also referred to as blood flow restriction, BFR training. This type of restriction training is good for people with injuries or physical limitations to help build up muscle. Occlusion training involves disrupting blood flow to the limbs at work. When blood is restricted in your muscles, they get bigger. This swelling of the muscles is called hypertrophy. Hypertrophy kickstarts a series of processes that leads to muscle growth and strengthening. Perhaps Chris has introduced this form of training to prevent injuries so he can continue acting as Thor even in his 40s.
Yeah, you know, I worked my butt off literally for this film, as I do all the Thor films. I get to eat a ridiculous amount of protein and work out a lot. And that's, you know, you put in the hard work and hopefully get the results.
In interviews, he mentioned that getting ready for the role was grueling and that the goal weight was higher than in the previous movies. We can safely assume that Chris likely weighed 230 pounds or 105 kilograms for this role. The shirtless scene for this Thor film caused a big stir online. People debated over steroids, CGI, and special camera angles. Many in the fitness community believed that the standard for actors is just getting too crazy. Chris looked like he was ready to step on an IFBB stage.
Look at this cap. This is literally a bowling ball hanging off of your body, ready to dislocate itself and hit a strike.
Perhaps we will never know what was used to get Chris to this incredible state. One thing can't be denied. The ladies loved it. Check out some of these reactions to the scene.
Oh.
Flick too hard, damn it!
Flick harder.
Oh, flick too hard, damn it!
He's ass in this movie.
Every single person decided, I needed to come in and get people's invoices for work today.
It is said that over 300 people came to set on the day Chris shot the iconic flick scene. Who would have known people could be this thirsty? So what do you think was Chris's best physique? Was it Thor 1, 2, 3, or 4? Do you think he is natural? Let us know in the comments section.